Coming up in West Side Stories, one of the largest flu outbreaks in years is taking its toll on the area. We show you how to best protect yourself this flu season.
Plus, 1 in 5 teens say that they've been bullied, but one Michigan school is working on a way to battle back.
And jobs in the STEM field are in high demand. See how one local group is helping people learn more about these opportunities. Those stories and plenty more next on West Side Stories.
West Side Stories is produced by students from the Multimedia Journalism program at Grand Valley State University. Support also comes from the School of Communications. Inspiring thought, perfecting practice.
Welcome to West Side Stories. I'm Preston Anakuski.
And I'm Reagan Blissett.
By all accounts, this flu season has been one of the worst on record.
The flu outbreak has been particularly deadly for infants and the elderly. To make matters worse, the norovirus, commonly mistaken for the stomach flu, also appears to be a serious health concern. E07 has more on the story.
According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, there have been over 500 cases of norovirus nationwide since August last year. And according to the CDC, norovirus and flu cases are unusually high for this time of the year. This is causing great concern in health institutions. CNN says that from October 1st to January 20th, there were nearly 12,000 flu-related hospitalizations. Almost all major news networks are covering this record-breaking outbreak.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has declared this year's flu outbreak to be the worst on record since swine flu in 2009, and it only seems to be getting worse.
The number of flu deaths this season is more than double what it was at the same time last year. Next to the deadly flu epidemic, the newest figures from the CDC find that the outbreak hasn't peaked yet. High flu activity is now reported in 42 states. While the severity of the flu outbreak has many rushing to get a flu shot, there's another kind of outbreak that's causing concern. It is commonly referred to as the stomach flu, even though it's not actually the flu. The norovirus is a highly contagious virus that causes gastrointestinal illness. People commonly get the virus by contaminated foods in the U.S. According to the CDC, an estimated 20 million Americans get sick with it every year. A norovirus outbreak recently hit Davenport University. The virus caused a shutdown of the school premises from Wednesday 24th of January until the 28th.
First of all, I couldn't believe that it was, and then they closed it on Wednesday night around 6:30, and then me being a staff, I had to come back here on Thursday and bleach and clean. So we were still exposed.
Amy Hasapis, another faculty member, said that several of her students have been out with the norovirus or the flu. She says that university staff told students not to leave campus even though the campus was closed. They didn't want students to leave the premises and infect the greater community.
One of my friends, his name's Tyler, he actually said he had the norovirus, so he's just crossed my dorm room too. But he said he just got done with it, and that was actually a surprise that someone I knew got sick with it.
This year, there are more recorded flu and norovirus outbreaks in the U.S. than the previous 5 years, according to the CDC. With the recent outbreaks spreading through the nation, the job of immunization has been passed to other entities aside from doctor offices and urgent cares.
Good.
Christine Kelly, a pharmacist and a manager at a CVS pharmacy, has over 20 years of experience working with the flu season.
In this day and age, pharmacists are actually being trained to give immunizations. So every fall, before the flu season starts, we get multiple doses of vaccines so we can start giving the flu shots.
Kelly's store has given over 1,000 flu shots this season, when the average for other seasons is around 600.
And we received an email a couple days ago that we are actually going to get an emergency shipment of the flu vaccine because it is so prevalent right now, because so many people who didn't get their flu shot are scared and are coming in and asking for their, an immunization. So it's really important that we are able to get that stock in and continue to get people immunized.
Pharmacists are now being trained to do flu and strep throat swabs in stores to test for the illnesses. According to Kelly, many customers' insurance policies cover vaccines at pharmacies.
People feel it's more convenient. They can come in and get their flu shot while they're waiting for a prescription or when they pick up a prescription. So, and they don't have to go into a doctor's office where multiple people are already sick. So the customers actually prefer, and we did a lot of vaccines this season.
The CDC recommended vaccine didn't cover the worst strain this year. However, Kelly still recommends people to get vaccinated.
Still better to get the flu shot because it can still shorten the flu, or your symptoms will not be as severe, or it may be completely covered. So we encourage everybody and anybody that comes in here to get the flu shot, especially seniors and people that are prone to get sick.
There are many ways to prevent getting infected by the norovirus or the flu. Kelly explains some habits the public should do to avoid getting sick in the first place.
One of the most important things is prevention. So washing your hands frequently, using hand sanitizer, not touching, a lot of less contact with people, especially if you're out in public, and touching surfaces and knobs and other items, just being proactive with that. Oh, here's 2,400. That's 10.
Even though you might feel like you don't need any shots, Kelly says it's not only about protecting yourself. Getting the shot also helps maintain a healthy community around you.
It's very important that even if you feel like you don't need the flu vaccine, that you still get the vaccine, because you can carry the virus and you can pass it on to other people, and it could be deadly. So it's not always about just protecting yourself. It's about protecting your loved ones, your friends, your family, people that you know and are around every day that might get sick easily.
This flu season has hit hard, but that doesn't mean it's bad news for us all. It's important for the public to stay aware of their surroundings and watch out for potential risks of getting infected by the flu. In Grand Rapids, I'm E07.
Special thanks to Alexandria Kelly, who contributed to that report.
Bullying in our schools is a big problem. According to a nationwide survey by the National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, the CDC, and the U.S. Department of Education, 1 in 5 teens say that they have been bullied. But as reporter Callie Hubbard tells us, at least one Michigan school is chalking up some victories against bullying.
Have you ever been called a word that you didn't like, whether it was slob or messy or impatient? Well, students and faculty at Spring Lake High School are working to break these stereotypes. It all started as an idea to use student art as a statement against bullying.
On the chalkboards in the hallway, the physical chalkboard.
Art teacher Jennifer Gwenup at Spring Lake High School says she always envisioned the day when students, teachers, and staff would walk into the school and see the hallway covered with pictures of students. Students who say they've been bullied, each student holding up a chalkboard with a single word. A word that someone has used to bully them.
I imagine that moment in time would do a few things, that it would make them feel more compassionate towards individuals and other people who have things like that going on, that they'd feel more part of a community, knowing that no matter what group that they're in, be it the popular kids or the jocks or the kids that are in the arts, that everybody had a common experience.
Gwenup says she wanted students to know that they are a part of something much bigger than these words. She wanted to take away the pain of bullying and replace it with something positive. She had the students cover up the words on the chalkboards with colorful pieces of paper. Students then replaced the negative words with positive ones. The pictures started on the walls of Spring Lake and made their way onto the students' social media platforms.
So the pictures that we took were printed 18 by 24, big black and white photographs. And as we were wrapping up the physical installation and getting the images printed, students started getting their images from our website and posting them on Instagram. So what happened on social media was pretty organic. So exactly what I wanted the physical installation to become was happening on social media at the same time.
Students started putting their pictures onto Instagram where other students could comment positive words that described them, just like they did in the walls of their high school. That was when the Chalkboard Project was born.
Artistic, amazing, passionate.
Gwenup says students told their parents about the project, and that's when things really took off.
I think they hear stories from their students, their kids, and they are saying, we want something authentic and real to happen. happen to help. The stories that come out of the project are really incredible. We see a lot of it on Instagram happening, people who are apologizing to each other. Some of it's word of mouth. Students have come to me and said, let me tell you about how it affected me. I had one girl come in and say, my mom saw my image and she came up to my bedroom last night and we had a conversation that we never would have had otherwise.
Conversations that started with a single word. But how does a student come up with a single word to describe how they felt?
We told them to use a word that was either something that someone has said to them that's bothered them, or maybe it's not even a word, maybe it's a phrase, or it could be just a misconception that people have of them.
Gwinnett touched many of her students in the process, one of them being Eric Dunlap, a senior at Spring Lake High School.
Everyone in high school has something that's, made them mad, and it was a really relatable thing. I wrote feminine for my word, and I don't know, I was called feminine when I was little, and it just stuck with me for like a lot of years, and I kind of overcame it, and I just learned to not care about, like, even if it was true or not, like, I just didn't care. I just thought that'd be something good to write on the board just because, it's kind of relieving.
See, and what I told students was, like, even I need this. Even I have days where I need to refer to this and be like, no, people actually think I'm awesome. It is uncomfortable, but we had a lot of growth that came from it and a lot of positive dialogue that came from it.
Both Gwinnett and Dunlap can agree that this made a huge impact on the high school. It has silenced the bullies.
It's definitely made people more aware of stuff, I think, because everyone knows about it, everyone talks about it.
I think the sky's the limit. I would love to see it impact as many people as possible.
Overall, the project has not only brought students closer, but it has strengthened the relationships between students and their teachers. The Chalkboard Project has already spread to other schools in West Michigan, but Gwinnett hopes it will go much further than that. From West Side Stories, I'm Callie Hubbard.
If you want to see the images that students and faculty have posted in West Michigan, you can visit the _Chalkboard Project on Instagram, and you may be surprised as to what you will find.
There is a rising demand for workers in the science, technology, engineering, and math fields. This according to the Pew Research Center. One local group has developed a creative and engaging way for people to explore and learn about these STEM fields. Justin Pelham brings us the story.
Demonstrations like this are a common occurrence at this geek paradise called the Geek Group. According to the group's founder, Chris Bowden, the Geek Group merges education with a love of science and technology.
We started this in 1994. So when we started this, the simple idea of make cool stuff, put it on the internet, that didn't really exist yet. That ethos hadn't really grown yet.
1994 also saw the birth of the World Wide Web, according to Wired.com. And like the internet, the Geek Group was at the forefront of the makerspace movement. Yet the Geek Group's values have not changed.
We have a really specific value set, and what that entails is opening up access to technology and technology education for everyone.
Dobson explains how working at the Geek Group has helped change the way he now approaches problems that he encounters at work.
When I have a problem at my desk, I can run down and I can build something that fixes it. Unlike every other workspace I've ever been in, this is the only one where when there's a problem, there is a solution. And it's not an off-the-shelf solution, it's a solution I have to design and build. Which means whatever solution I come up with, if it doesn't work, that's my failure. And that has allowed me on 1,000 different tiny little projects here and there along the way to learn how to design, to learn how to learn, and to actually make stuff.
There is everything from leatherworking, 3D printing, woodworking, a high voltage lab, and much, much more. Bowden explains why he is so passionate about helping others learn new technology.
We live in a world entirely predicated on science and technology and engineering and mathematics, and nobody knows anything about science and technology and engineering and mathematics, and that's what I'm up against, is You don't know what you don't know. There's something in this building for everyone who has a sincere and passionate desire to learn about something, and I don't care what it is.
The Geek Group is open to anyone who is willing to take that first step in learning something new.
From Grand Rapids, I'm Justin Pelham.
Now that place looks like a lot of fun. And Preston, you're a science geek, aren't you?
A little bit, and that place is definitely on my list of things to do now around here. Bull riding is a popular extreme sport with Western roots, but can also be extremely dangerous. Kendra Jarsma has more.
What do you say? Let's ride some bulls!
West Michigan had a chance to show off its country roots when professional bull riding came to Van Andel Arena. Crowds cheered as riders tried to stay on bucking bulls for 8 seconds, holding on with only one hand. Rodeo clowns entertained in between rides and tried to distract the 2,000-pound animals to protect the riders when they fell off. While bull riding is a popular attraction, it is certainly not without risks.
I've had my face wrecked out a few times, that's why I ain't got no teeth. Broke my nose, lost my teeth, I split my lips open. I've had shoulder surgeries and knee surgeries.
Riders take safety precautions like wearing helmets and protective vests, but many injuries, like concussions, can't be avoided. On the bull, the riders can be thrown into fences or injured from the jolting movements. Off the bull, riders are in danger of being kicked, stepped on, or caught by a horn. But Tillman says the risks don't stop him or other riders.
It's my passion. Why do you do what you do?
Keyshawn Whitehorse finished third in Grand Rapids and has wanted to ride bulls from a very young age.
About 5 years old, I was sleeping at night. My dad was watching it on TV. I woke up and I saw him watching it and I didn't say anything, but I want to do that, Dad.
His injuries have been relatively minor so far.
Me, it's been a fractured ankle. Not been too bad.
Whitehorse works to stay limber to prepare for his rides.
I spend a lot of time stretching at the event, warming up, do dynamic warm-ups, and then also during the week work out and stretch a lot during the week, yoga, swimming, and lifting.
For him, the exhilaration of the ride beats the threat of injury.
It just feels like a calling to me, really. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I was just happy to be able to do it. It never gets old to me.
They don't enjoy getting hurt or seeing their friends get hurt, but riders accept it as part of their job.
When you see your buddies, I mean, these are all your friends. You see them every week, and, every day, in and out. When they get hurt in front of you, yeah, but you got to put it in the back of your mind because you're here to do your job, and that's what you're doing. I mean, you're living your dream, getting to do what you do, but you can't take somebody else's injury or them getting hurt in front of you and think about it. You got to concentrate on what you're here for, and that's what I do.
Professional bull riding recognizes two athletes during every ride, the rider and the bull. Riders do what they can to protect themselves against harm, and their organization protects the bulls. According to the Professional Bull Riding website, the bulls travel for a maximum of 10 hours per day and then are rested for 12 to 14 hours. While in the trailers, they stand on 6 to 10 inches of sawdust. They are also given plenty of premium feed. Inside the ring, the ropes that go around their bodies do not cause harm. It loosens when the bulls buck to give them an incentive to buck again. Though precautions are taken for the bulls, they are still capable of hurting the riders, a fact that the riders have to put behind them.
As riders, we understand the risk, but we have to block it. The pure joy of the ride overcomes the fear.
Ignoring their fear can help riders get those 8-second rides. In Grand Rapids, I'm Kendra Jarsma.
Fortunately, no bulls or riders sustained serious injuries at the event in Grand Rapids, and the list of event dates can be found at pbr.com.
Ever wondered what it's like to be an actor? Well, you're in luck because today Linnea Martinez takes us backstage with the performers of Oklahoma, the musical, at the Haas Center for the Performing Arts.
If this song sounds familiar, there's a good chance that you remember Oklahoma, a classic written by Rodgers and Hammerstein in the 1940s. Those at the Haas Center for Performing Arts this weekend had the exciting opportunity to see this classic come to life.
Oklahoma has always been a family favorite. I love the music and the characters and that old feeling that you get when you watch it again. So when they were doing Oklahoma and it was announced, I was super excited that I could have the opportunity to be a part of it.
That was Amanda Haverdink, a Grand Valley State University student who plays Gertie in the show. She is just one of many talented young actors in this performance. According to Andrew Schneider, the assistant stage director, this show was produced in only 4 weeks. Last Sunday, actors moved from practice rooms to the stage for a week they call Tech Week.
Tech Week is the crazy busyness that ensues the week before the show goes up.
The college actors spent a full 10 hours in rehearsal on Sunday. For the first time ever, they ran the show with all the moving parts of a production. This includes costumes, makeup, sound, and lights. According to Casey Hulls, who plays the lead Curly in the show, theater is all about teamwork.
This isn't a selfish, pastime. You can't walk on stage with that selfish attitude and expect everyone else to revolve around you.
Being an actor in any production means having complete faith in every member of the cast.
So if something goes wrong, you have to be able to go at the tip of a hat. If someone messes up a line and it's awkward silence, you have to be able to cover. You have to be able to be ready for that kind of thing at all times.
But what brought these students to the stage?
I think a lot of us were the outsider when we were younger and trying to find some way to connect and be a part of something. And we all found theater in a family. The cast really comes together and becomes your family. They're people you spend hours and hours with every day, and you really pour your heart and soul into working with them.
Every time you do a project, you develop a new theater family, and that's the really fun thing about it. And then you close that project and you move on to another and you make a whole nother family.
For this cast, theater is more than a pastime. It is a way of life. Ask any performer and they will tell you that there is no closer community than a theater family. In Allendale, I'm Linnea Martinez.
You can find out more about GVSU's upcoming theater productions by visiting their website.
It's time now for our weekly WGVU Digital Studio segment. This week we take you to Grand Haven and visit Grand Armory Brewery.
Grand Haven's craft brewing scene continues to grow. I introduce to you Grand Armory Brewing. Two homebrewing college buddies, Ryan, Ben, with a concept, a vision. Tell me about this space and how it's all come together.
Sure, so this is an old armory facility in downtown Grand Haven. This has 113 years of just pure history in it. So as you can see, we built our entire brand off this facility because it's so beautiful and it's so majestic. Whether it's an ROTC location, an actual armory, a YMCA, or a salon, whoever comes in here, depending on your 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, has a different story about the armory, and that's what makes it so great.
And then just the concept of bringing in different vendors, Ben. I mean, this was all part of a master plan.
It was a big collaboration. We were really lucky to have such equally minded businesses that wanted to collaborate at the same time. Everyone was ready for a brick and mortar at the same time. So working together with the barbecue location, Aldea Coffee, as well as the Armory Art Center, kind of gives us a unique feel where, again, everybody's got something that makes them feel comfortable.
And it's all about making people feel comfortable and bringing them something that is truly local and they're passionate about. What does that do for business when you have that synergy where people can all kind of congregate in one spot?
So it's fantastic. You'll see a table here where somebody's drinking a pint of beer, a glass of wine, a cup of coffee, and a root beer. So whether you like beer or not, we try to make this not a bar but a community space. So anybody who comes in more or less has an option to enjoy themselves and to have a good time.
Okay, but you've got two home brewers who are friends together. It's almost like a mind meld wild going on.
It sure is.
Tell me about the product, the beer itself, and the two of you working together.
Sure. So we were aggressive home brewers, we call it. What was a once-a-month thing snowballed into a once-a-week thing, into a, I don't know if we legally even are allowed to have this much beer kind of thing. So when we had that realization on a Saturday, by Monday we were, with the realtor looking in windows trying to find where our home brews could be, have a home as a commercial brews. And when we found the Armory building, we just couldn't have been more excited. It was our branding, it was the building, it was the community space all in one.
How do you describe your beer?
Delicious. No, it is diverse. You're going to see a lot of traditional brands here, a lot of very traditional to the buck IPAs, and then you'll find a peanut butter stout. So we have a nice mix of traditional with the more of a, let's see what this tastes like. Let's experiment a little bit.
Seasonal and experimental. Our classic mainstay styles are really important to us, but we do, as home brewers, want the freedom to experiment with some different goofy flavors.
All right. Well, you don't have to wear a flannel or.
Yes, you do.
Oh, you do?
You do.
Not everyone can grow a beard.
Yeah. Yep.
But come on in, come into Grand Haven where you're seeing the synergy taking place. Home brewing coming to the storefront here in Grand Haven. What a great mix. Brian, Ben, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on The Draft. We'll see you next week.
As always, a big thanks to WGVU Digital Studios for letting us use that story and more right here on West Side Stories.
And I'm afraid that's all the time we have for you today, but thanks for joining in. I'm Reagan Blissett.
And I'm Preston Kuski. We'll see you next week.
West Side Stories is produced by students from the Multimedia Journalism program at Grand Valley State University. Support also comes from the School of Communications, inspiring thought, perfecting practice.